The streets of New York were as busy as ever. People rushed past each other, lost in their own worlds, barely noticing the small moments of life unfolding around them. Among the crowd walked Keanu Reeves, dressed casually in a black hoodie, jeans, and his signature humility. He had just stepped out of a local cafe, sipping on a simple black coffee, his thoughts lost in the rhythm of the city. As he reached into his pocket to grab his phone, something slipped unnoticed. The soft leather wallet that held his credit cards, ID, and a few $100s in cash. It landed silently on the sidewalk, trampled over by countless hurried feet. Keanu, oblivious, continued his walk, sipping his coffee, unaware that fate was about to take an unexpected turn. A few steps behind, an elderly homeless man named Arthur shuffled through the crowd. His clothes were tattered, his shoes barely held together with duct tape, and his face bore the marks of hardship. He hadn't eaten a proper meal in 2 days, and his stomach growled in painful protest. That's when he saw it, the wallet lying in the middle of the sidewalk. He hesitated. He had spent years being ignored, treated like a ghost in his own city. No one ever offered him kindness. But this? This was different. His trembling hands picked up the wallet, and he quickly stepped into a shadowed alley to inspect it. Inside, crisp $100 bills stared back at him. His heart pounded. This was more money than he had seen in months. Enough for a warm meal, maybe even a cheap motel for a few nights. Then he saw the name on the ID, Keanu Reeves. His breath hitched. Arthur had no phone, no way of returning it. He debated with himself. This was a once-in-a-lifetime chance. But deep inside, something didn't feel right. Arthur sighed and stepped back onto the sidewalk. He walked to a nearby diner, not to buy food, but to use their landline. With a deep breath, he asked the manager if he could make a call. The manager, seeing the desperation in his eyes, nodded. "Hello? I think I found your wallet," Arthur stammered when Keanu picked up. He had found a business card inside with a contact number. There was a pause. Then, in the calmest, kindest voice, Keanu replied, "Where are you?" "I'll come to you." 30 minutes later, a sleek black car pulled up near the diner. Arthur had never felt more nervous in his life. The door opened, and out stepped Keanu Reeves, humble, kind, exactly as people described him. He walked up to Arthur, a warm smile on his face. "You must be Arthur," Keanu said, extending his hand. Arthur hesitated before shaking it. I found your wallet. Everything's inside, I swear. I didn't take a single dollar." Keanu took the wallet, quickly checking it. Then he looked at Arthur, noticing the ragged clothes, the exhaustion in his eyes. Instead of suspicion, Keanu's expression softened with gratitude. "You could have kept it," Keanu said. Arthur lowered his head. "I thought about it, but I know what it feels like to lose everything. I wouldn't want to do that to someone else." Keanu nodded, deeply moved. He reached into the wallet, pulled out all the cash, and handed it to Arthur. Arthur's eyes widened. "I can't take this," Keanu smiled. "It's yours. You chose honesty over desperation. That deserves more than a simple thank you." Tears welled in Arthur's eyes as he clutched the money. "You don't know what this means to me." Keanu patted his shoulder. "Maybe I do." Keanu didn't stop there. He took Arthur inside the diner, bought him a warm meal, and sat with him as they talked for an hour. Arthur told him about the life he once had, a steady job, a family, before a series of tragedies left him with nothing. Before leaving, Keanu made a quiet phone call. The next day, Arthur was given a fresh set of clothes, a place to stay, and even a job interview at a local community center Keanu helped fund. Arthur had spent years feeling invisible, but one moment of honesty, one act of kindness, had changed his life forever. Days later, Arthur stood in front of a mirror, dressed in clean clothes, his reflection unfamiliar, yet hopeful. He still had a long road ahead, but for the first time in years, he felt like he had a chance. And somewhere in the city, Keanu Reeves walked the streets, unchanged, still the same humble man who believed that sometimes all someone needs is a little help to turn their life around. Because in the end, kindness always finds its way back.